This is Terry with Heavy Duty Powertrain again, and today we're going to be talking about again why your Cummins L10, M11, and N14 won't start, and probably similar to a lot of engines out there, but these two engines here have a lot of similarities. Okay, here opening up a cam sensor. This cam sensor will really cause you a lot of aggravations, and they're under 50 bucks. So this is what to expect when you get one from us. We only sell original Cummins parts, but here you go. Just in case you don't know what one looks like, it's got an O-ring on it here, 4-wire plug. These are 2 pair of wires. Not quite sure why they did it, but they're actually a backup pair. If one part of this sensor circuitry fails, the other will back it up. So one will throw a 115 code and one will throw a 121 code. And that's what it looks like. This cam sensor is located down on the driver's side of the engine and towards the front, and it goes into the back of the timing cover down there underneath your fuel pump and accessory drive. This actually will take pretty much like a 7/8, 11/16 socket, probably to be safe, 11/16, kind of like a oxygen sensor socket, or a small spark plug, that type of thing. But it's SAE thread. It's got an O-ring on it, so all you got to do is just snug it up, a half turn when you're tightening it, and when you get it undone, to undo it. It only takes about a half turn, and then you can just spin it out real easy. On that note, you notice this has a wire on it, which complicates things. So a lot of guys are taking like an 11/16 socket and cutting a groove down it so they can, put the wire in, and just like this, it just spins around, and you can tighten or untighten it. If you don't have that slot in there, then it becomes a real problem. And so we're going to talk about the problems and the effects of what this cam sensor can cause you. And I also want to show you if I can get this thing apart here. Don't want to ruin the box. As I talked to in a previous video, okay, this is a Fuel Solenoid. It comes with rubber grommets here to seal it off. And this is the proper solenoid, and it is a 402-4808 number, so you know. Now, you notice this groove in here. This is a new design for Cummins. So what this actually does is, the reason that groove's in there is if your fuel pump is bad and leaking fuel up to this, then it will start leaking fuel dribbling out of here. and that tells you that your fuel pump's bad, actually. But that's what it looks like. So we all know here. Maybe I'll just cut this video off short and we'll just call it identifying the fuel solenoid and what they're all about, what have you. But I'll go ahead and talk a little more about the cam sensor. The cam sensor, it senses the signal off your cam gear, and a lot of times they'll get scuffed up if the cam gear is floating around in here in the engine, and they'll scuff it up and crack it. Some of the original ones, after 10 years, they develop a crack in this part of it, and they'll start leaking oil back in here. And when that oil comes back, this plug plugs into your sensor harness, and then that oil keeps crawling all the way back, and before you know it, you're having a lot of trouble, with that situation. And if you look at these wires close, again, it's a signal device here. It's always a good idea to twist them like a twisted pear a little bit. Don't overdo it, kind of about like that. And, that'll help for not causing crosstalk, just like on a PC network. So if you're not getting your injectors to fire and you got your Noid light, on the, other side of the ECM, right by the injectors, at least on an N14, the M11, you have to take the valve cover off and get after it that way. But it really comes down to, the solenoid's got to not be shorted out internally, so it opens up and it don't drain your power out of your ECM and cause you not to start it or burn up the ECM. But it pulls its signal off this, and then the ECM over here picks up that signal and then sends it out there to fire the injectors. And if you got a Noid light on the other end, you can see if all that's working. So, again, got to have 12 volt at the fuel solenoid. May drop down to 10 when you're trying to start it, but should come back up, and you should hear it click good and everything. But you really want to use the voltmeter on here, and if you can't get a signal to fire the Noid light, or it's really weak, the first thing you want to replace is this $50 part here. Probably the cheapest part out there for Cummins, which is good. And so, you want to, again, if you got a no-start situation, you're trying to eliminate if it's a fuel problem or not. So those two items can raise havoc. And also on this cam sensor, that a lot of people are experiencing, that they have a cam sensor code 115 or 121, and they replace it, and it seems like it tries to straighten it out. And then what happens in a lot of cases, that oil in the sensor harness starts leaking back and contaminates this connector, and it shorts out. And it's, I think it's a real problem stretching out the sensor harness, whether it be a Select or Select Plus. The Select Plus only comes one way, like on the M11 and the N14s, and it's all one sensor and injector harness. You can't buy it separately on the Select Plus, but I wouldn't try to get more than 10 years out of these harnesses and stuff. And this component, cam sensor, and the fuel solenoid. So that's pretty much the second step after diagnosing the fuel solenoid, and make sure you got power and it's opening up okay. But You know, you got to put that Noid light out on the injector harness, and if you haven't got a signal, then replace this cam sensor, replace your engine harness, and you're narrowing it down to the ECM. You know, we sell a lot of ECMs, but that's not my mission to start off with saying replace the ECM if your engine don't start. You know, I'd rather help you go through this and replace the maintenance parts that are old age and probably causing problems. And I've done it both ways. I've sold an ECM to somebody that says, well, you know, I don't want to just replace parts for nothing, and sell them an ECM, and then that doesn't cure the problem. Then they have to buy the parts, sensor harness and cam sensor, fuel solenoid, and whatever. But wiring's a big issue out there. So that's another tip on a no start situation, or a start and run so long and quits and all that. So I hope that helps you for 2017. I'm gonna keep trying to put out more videos here, and I'm there to help you. Just call me. I haven't got a problem with taking calls. We're still doing free tech support here, I am, and the company, and it seems like it really works out good. I help you guys, and you help me by buying parts, and everybody's happy. So 810-653-6300. That's a landline phone number. Cell phone or text 727-494-5514, or email me at terry@n14parts.com, and keep in touch, and I think it's going to be a great year for 2017. Take care. Bye.